Breaking news, Cristiano Ronaldo has signed for Saudi side Al Nassr. They have now confirmed it.
A new deal with Al Nassr, which is worth $200 million a year, the biggest contract ever.
You don't force yourself out of a United contract to go to Saudi Arabia in January. So he's done that interview, he's tarnished his record, whatever you want to call it, to go to Saudi Arabia anyway. The whole point of that interview was to get him out of the contract with United to try and get a Champions League club, and it's not worked. It's very sad.
For a guy who apparently his management championed this, Man United don't respect me, Man United should be using me more, Man United manager hasn't got a clue, why am I not playing? To then end up in effectively a backwater of world football. Obscurity. It's telling you either two things, that it was always about the money for him and he would not cut his losses, he would not go to one of the bigger European clubs and play the Champions League. He said, I want to leave United out to Champions League. It's success, it's stats, it's been remembered for achieving stuff. Well, you'll not be remembered for anything apart from taking a few gazillion dollars from Saudi Arabia.
Who's going to watch Ronaldo play? How can we see Ronaldo play again for Al Nassr? So he's going to a club that he's kind of out of sight, out of mind. It's sad. It's a sad way to go, but the money's there. It's an amazing deal. At 37, coming to off his $75 million a year to play. He's a hard one to turn down, but I think his legacy is probably tarnished by the fact that he's seen it as career in Saudi Arabia.
After Cristiano Ronaldo was banished to Saudi Arabia, a lot of people have been mocking him online, like as if this is the first time a 38-year-old player has gone to a lower league. Now, I'm going to admit, I've also contributed to it to an extent. My only issue with Ronaldo was his failure to realize that his time was up, which was normal, which was something that I always expected from Ronaldo. Players like Ronaldo with the ego and their determination and all that, they were never going to go in a very mild way. It was always going to be ugly. That was just it. Like, I wasn't surprised by it. This is something that I predicted, even when he was in his prime. But that doesn't change the fact that players get old and they go to lower leagues. It is not something new. Messi will still do the same thing. Though I think Messi could just retire at once. Maybe all he would do is go to the US. But I don't think Messi is someone that will hang around to try and, keep playing for no reason. But at the end of the day, Ronaldo is a legend. That should not be taken away from him because he moved to Saudi Arabia. Now, one of the things that has been going on with Ronaldo in terms of the mocking and everything is that people are now using the last couple of years of his career to judge his career. People seem to have forgotten Ronaldo's real prime. And this is why I'm making this video. I watched Ronaldo from the time he signed for Manchester United. This guy was not just a poacher. This guy was not just this guy that people just call Tapnaldo or Tapping Merchant or Penaldo and all these words that people use for this guy. Like, this was not Ronaldo. He's not Haaland. Like, I'm beginning to see this equivalence that people are trying to make, that Mbappe is Messi to Haaland is Ronaldo. Meaning, like, the same way it was the rivalry of Messi with Ronaldo, and it's the same thing with Mbappe and Haaland. It's not the same thing whatsoever. Haaland is a tapping merchant. Ronaldo was never that. Something happened in his career in 2014 that changed the way he played, changed everything. After this injury, his boss, his athleticism, a lot of things that was part of his game left him. And at that point, he now became like a poacher or a 10-yard boss player that he became towards the end of his career. And to make matters worse, he actually won more Ballon d'Ors after the injury, scored more goals after the injury, which is now clouding people's judgment. And that is one of the reasons why I feel Messi and Ronaldo ruined football. Mostly Ronaldo though, because we are now in a football era now where everything is about goals. Everything is about goals. Take for example, Erling Haaland. The dude scored 5 goals in a match the other day. And people are already calling him the GOAT, future GOAT and all that. Like, I do not know when this started. From my experience, it started from the Ronaldo-Messi era, where everything is about goals. Haaland is probably one of the greatest finishers of all time. I can accept that. And it's something that is very, very clear to anybody that understands football to see. His movements, his finishing. This guy could get 5 chances and score 3 or score 4. A lot of strikers cannot say that. The guy is insane in terms of goal scoring. But outside of that, he adds nothing to the game. Literally nothing. If this guy does not score, it's almost like he wasn't on the field. But I feel like people don't even watch games anymore. Haaland contributes nothing to the game outside of scoring of goals, which is fine. There is always a place for poachers and finishers in football. Almost any team would sign Haaland if they had the chance. That's not me trying to say that Haaland is a bad footballer. What I'm trying to say is that the fact that someone scores goals does not mean that he's the best player in the team. That's just how I look at football. So Ronaldo wasn't Haaland. A 22-year-old Ronaldo could do things like this.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Sahar waits inside the area. Ronaldo goes alone and wins the match for Manchester United. 87 minutes played.
That is something Haaland will never be able to do. In his lifetime, he will never be able to do it. Now, so Ronaldo came into the limelight in Sporting Lisbon. He played against Manchester United in a friendly. You need to hear what the likes of Alex Ferguson and Manchester United players were saying about this guy. That they had to sign him. They had to sign him after that performance. And that is something that never really happens. This guy destroyed United defenders during that game. Destroyed them. This is not about scoring. He did not score. But he destroyed them. That's what football is about. Not just someone scoring and that all of a sudden is the best player on the field. So he signed for Manchester United, and the first season, was just there and there. They won the then Carling Cup, and Ronaldo did not really start scoring that many goals. But you could see the skill. You could see the talent. You could see everything. In my opinion, his real prime started from 07 to 14. That was his real prime, in my opinion. After that point, Ronaldo was down like a tap-in merchant, kind of, to be honest. It was almost like Haaland, let me put it like that. And that is still great. I'm not saying that being a Haaland is terrible, but that was what he was. But before then, that was not Ronaldo. People need to go and watch Ronaldo in his earlier years at Manchester United, because it's getting ridiculous, the kind of comments I'm seeing about this man. This guy was not a tap-in merchant. So we'll go to his 06-07 season, where United won the Premier League for the first time in, I think, 3 years or so. That season was the announcement for Ronaldo. It was very, very, very clear that this man was going to be one of the best players in the world. And in that season, he lost the Ballon d'Or and the world best player to Kaká, who was incredible for AC Milan that season. Now coming to this 07-08 season, which was the season that Ronaldo cemented himself as a future GOAT.
Of a pass, Scholes. Ronaldo! Wonderful. Again and again and again. Man, same old story.
So in this season, United won the Premier League and the Champions League double. And Ronaldo scored 42 goals in all competitions. At that point in time, which was a lot. Not now. Ronaldo and Messi ruined football in that way as well. But at that point was a lot. 42 goals in all competitions was a lot at that point in time. And he cemented himself that season. The 2008-2009 season was also great, where Ronaldo and United won their 3rd straight Premier League title. Then he lost the Champions League final to Messi and Barcelona, which probably made him lose the world best and Ballon d'Or that season. After this, he now made a then world record transfer to Real Madrid. And that was where a lot of people think that was Ronaldo's real prime. Yeah, the first couple of years, yes. The first couple of years. But I actually think Ronaldo was better at Manchester United. That is just my opinion, though. That is my opinion. He may have scored more goals at Madrid. He was actually more dangerous and more electric at Manchester United in his first stint. And that is just my opinion. Most people may disagree with that. But even if you may tell me that his first couple of years in Madrid were better, I can still agree with you. we can see agree to disagree in that situation. But if you tell me after 2014, 2015, no. He may have scored more goals, but I just do not. I look at Ronaldo in those years as a caricature of his real self. That's just how I look at it. That being said, he was electric in his first couple of years at Real Madrid, where he had to go against that prime Barcelona that most people could not beat. And Madrid didn't really end up winning a lot of trophies during that period, and that may have made people to think that he didn't perform well. As a Madrid fan, I actually think those were his best years for Real Madrid. And though they did not win that many trophies, Barcelona were dominating, winning like 3 straight leagues, 1 Champions League and all that stuff. Madrid could not win the Champions League until 2014, and the league, they only won it in 2012, where they had to break almost every record possible just to win the league that season. But at that point in time, that was Ronaldo's best self. So to round this up, what I would say, he may have won the Ballon d'Or more times after 2014, which was, to me, the turning point in Ronaldo's career. But I feel like the years before that were his real prime. Most people may disagree with this because most people look at goals. That's the only metric that people look at these days. Everything is goals, stats, assists, goals and assists, all that nonsense that people use now to rate. And I think we're almost following like the American way of judging sports now, because in the US, most things is stats, points per game, all this nonsense. You need to watch the game and see how people impact the game. It's not just about goals. That is how I see it, in my own opinion. And I feel like Ronaldo had to resort to being a poacher just to compete with Messi. That is just how I see it. At that point, Messi was incredible, playing, dribbling, doing all this stuff. And I mean, like, Ronaldo had no choice. He could not compete with Messi in terms of skills anymore. So he had to use goals to keep up with Messi. Though he won Ballon d'Ors over Messi during that period, I never felt he was a better player than Messi. And I'm a Madrid fan. I know this is hard for a lot of Madrid fans to accept, but I just never saw it. Though he was scoring more goals, he was winning these trophies and all that stuff. He used goals to keep up with Messi during the later stages of his career, which is fine. I guess that is what people use to judge players these days. That's just how I see it. So I would hope that this misconception about Ronaldo being some tapping finisher and all that, comparing him with Haaland and all that, I hope it stops, because I know this video may probably not go anywhere because I'm nobody. But I feel like I have to put this out because I feel people are beginning to disrespect this man. Yeah, he moved to Saudi Arabia. He's old. He's 38. What do you expect? Ronaldo was never just a tapping merchant. He was an incredible footballer, dribbler, great in the air, complete footballer. He was not a Haaland or a Filippo Inzaghi. So this idea that he was some kind of player like those guys I just mentioned has to stop.